They don't quite ease out until later. They kind of help me keep going. I got a cognitive delay as everything, it's the thinking that really wears me out. And as I get more and more into that, my brain begins to slow down. So they help me keep going until I get home safe. So, okay. So what are your thoughts? Shay.
How can we help you to make this easier on you for all that you're doing to help us?
Well, by being interested. As far as what happens with me goes, they help quite a bit, you help quite a bit, but my brain is a physical aspect. And think of it like this. You go down a highway and all of a sudden you see road construction signs. And then you got this nice 3-lane highway that moves down to 2 and then down to 1. And unless somebody decides to speed up down one of those other lanes and then cut in front, the flow is steady, slower, but it's still steady. And that's what happens with me. Does that help you understand that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best analogy I've come up with. And there's, as far as what you can do, it's having an interest, asking questions, that helps. Because there's no discordant energy. Because if there is discordant energy, then the two of us, me, myself, and whoever's working through me, have to overcome that. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
How was your experience
With the state.
today?
Every Sunday is incredible with you guys.
Oh,
I'm speechless. Every single day I leave, I go walk by the river because I'm just like in awe. Yeah, this was very powerful, very, very powerful. Emotionally, very powerful. It lasts me the whole.
good.
The old one was very helpful, at least for me today. He was the one who spoke first.
Yeah.
He was not a bully today,
Right.
or forceful, I should say. So I really, appreciated being reminded that we do take things apart and become focused only on the one part and forget the other.
Good.
And that has led to all the splintering that exists now. Well, it has existed for a long time.
Okay, good. Ashley, what are your thoughts about the experience? I hope you're able to hear things, because sometimes my voice changes and it gets difficult.
Yes, it was very interesting to hear from both of them. A lot to think about.
Good. Andrea looks like she's got something swirling about in her mind there. Care to share?
Nothing profound to share.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be profound.
I was just really enjoying it. I think I have a lot to learn because people are talking about the other one. And I was environment. Yeah.
And what?
Yeah, well, that was two your voice.
The old one, the first one, the ancient one, the one I call the ancient one,
Okay.
who upset Sandy so much. Because he's a bully. And then the second one who says, my name is not Joseph. Or maybe it was Joseph. We've had several. I know one of the later ones said, no, I'm not Joseph. And one of the second one who came in said, you can call me Joseph.
Okay. You see some confused looks. When we started this, I'm still new to this. We've only been doing this since November. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, we've only been doing this since November. And, you know, the way it happened is typically Sunday morning, I go through my notes and I pick a couple of points to talk about. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I was moved to try something different. And this was what we tried. And the first person that came through was a bit forceful. So,
Beth, why did you call the first one bully?
Because he made Sandy cry.
Well, that's Sandy used to get over, but
well,
I mean, I think
No.
No.
these ancient teachers. Sharon and I have talked about this before, because the first one we had was more severe than this guy's. But these ancient teachers, I believe, have experience with students that are either committed or not. And if they're not committed, they have no time. The teacher has
That's
no
good.
time.
That's a good description. That's
I
exactly
mean,
it.
think of these Buddhist stories where the student sits out in the snow at the gate of the temple. He wants to be taken in as a student. And the teacher ignores him for weeks while he sits in the snow in order to test him whether he is really committed or not. Because if he's not committed, the teacher's not going to let him in the class. And I have a feeling that these bullies are because they are tense. They don't have time to waste on people or entities that are not serious about it. So they can be harsh, they can be stern as hell, but it's always, I believe, for the betterment of the student.
Thanks for that clarification. I appreciate that.
so in
That's exactly it.
a good example is just, has everybody watched Doctor Strange? No?
Yes.
Okay, well, the first Doctor Strange movie, you know, he's looking for training and he goes to this place, I forget what it's called. And they let him in and he meets with the teacher and everything. And the teacher demonstrates for him and then puts him out. Exactly what Ray was saying here, puts him out. And then one of the initiates or acolytes comes by and says, Master, you do know that he's been out there for 2 days now. And the master said, yes, I know. And eventually they let him in. But yeah, that's the idea. Unfortunately, in our culture today, something like that just wouldn't fly. Because that's not what we expect. It's not what we're accustomed to. So, and the others that do come through, I'm learning that they experience the same message differently. And sometimes their perspectives, others can understand. Now, the ones that come through me are going to match my disposition, so to speak, and my way of thinking, because anything radical could really, you know, set someone off. Now, it's not saying that it didn't happen beforehand. In fact, when spiritualism was developing, those were the ones that they wanted, the ones that were very radical, that there was no way it could be this person here. In fact, Andrew Jackson Davis, in one of his sessions there, gave a lecture on Semitic. Okay. On Jewish culture. 300-400 years, I don't know, BC time. He gave a lecture on that. And the man couldn't write. He had a second grade education. And so that's what they wanted, to demonstrate that this stuff was happening. But now it's more about the teaching that's coming through and not the demonstration that it's happening. It's the teachings. And someone who visited had made the comment that, you know, a large portion of the population is moving away from traditional religion because it's their beliefs in it are not only being challenged, but they're being altered. So they're looking for something different. That's why we do what we do here. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic and such like I just did. So, Emma, what are your thoughts about this experience? I know you said earlier that you grew up with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find it interesting. I watch a lot of different people channeling. And I think what I find quite fascinating is how the idea that the sun's somehow a collective coming through, like the law of one, and if you're familiar with one. But this idea that there's almost like a community of spirits speaking at anything kind through one, rather than having one, you know, because it's almost like you're having access to a like a collective consciousness in this.
It feels like that sometimes. It feels like that. And let me see here. Stevie, what are your thoughts about your experience?
I thought it was very powerful and very insightful.
Good, good, I'm glad. And while I'm at it, let me ask Sarah.
I think this has been a really eye-opening experience for me. I will say, I hope it's okay for me to say, I just learned about the foundations of spiritualism and the Fox sisters in school, which led me to learn more about the church. And I felt like it was just a real good fit for me, in the way that I was trying to feel more connected to the universe and who might be around me. I'm looking to find more ways to strengthen my connections and raise my vibrations. What do you suggest?
Well, the first thing for me and foremost is always ask questions. And if the answer you get doesn't make sense, go someplace else. I'm part of a spiritualist association, and when I first got involved, I asked questions about spiritualism, and they didn't have any answers, at least nothing that made sense. So I went looking, and I've been looking ever since. I've been looking for the last, 10 years. In fact, I wrote one book on foundation of spiritualism, and then later discovered I had it screwed up. So I had to write another one. I had to update it just to correct that mistake. And I'm finding that, you can't put everything into any kind of a format. You can't get it all in there. It just, once you start down this path, it just keeps getting more beautiful, more wider, more broad, and you begin to wonder, gosh, how can people act like that? It just doesn't make sense. So the number one thing I recommend is keep asking questions.
Thank you.
It's
So,
a constant learning process.
yes, a learning process.
And it's very, very helpful to journal it as you go through it, because then you can look back and throughout the week, something profound like today will unfold with little messages coming in other directions.
Yes, yes.
Journaling is
That's a
helpful,
good idea.
Yep.
because you can forget.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down. Everything that comes to mind. I used to carry a little notepad with me. And I would write down all kinds of thoughts and everything. So there's another thing you can do.
Can you put a bibliography on the website? A reading list?
No, it was on the old one. I'll have to get it one up on the new one.
Okay.
So if you go to our website, firstchurchofprayer.com, you can find other material there. So, and while I'm at this, did that answer your question, Sarah?
It did. Thank you guys so much for your input there. I'm definitely going to start journaling. Thank you.
Good.
And
good.
also, I have a suggestion, Philip,
Yes.
that soon in the next few coming months, hopefully we're going to start doing Zoom classes on different things, mediumship, tarot, all that different stuff. So that would be another reason to keep checking back with the website or coming every Sunday to find out what we've got coming up.
Yep. It's in the works. It's in the works.
Great.
So,
Thank
and before I go to Sandy, I vaguely remember somebody had company with them. I don't know which one it was, but what are their thoughts about this experience?
Yes, I do have two people with me. They're also very new to it. I felt a little nervous, so I asked them to come with me, and it seems like it's been really helpful for them.
I think it's pretty, I mean, I really sort of romanticize the idea that like we're sort of living in the, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like soup of everyone who
Yeah.
has existed before. And I think that's sort of beautiful to be able to channel it. So seeing that in practice was very interesting. Thank you.
Good. If you're interested in the history of spiritualism, a good book is Modern American Spiritualism, a 20-year history, and that is by Emma Hardinge. It's right in the back there, right next to Swedenborg.
Emma Hardage.
And Sandy.
It was good. I liked what the first gentleman said about life is about struggle, not suffering, because one would generally think that might be the same thing, but it's, it was very interesting to clarify that. And moving beyond that is what they said. So I like that. Mm-hmm.
Good, good. Did you have any more thoughts to add, Connie?
No, I don't think so. Not at this time, no.
All right, okay. And Cindy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I had a message for everybody.
Sure.
In the near future, things are gonna be a lot better for us than they are now.
Absolutely. We just have to get past November.
Things are gonna be a lot better. Things are gonna be a lot better in the near future for everybody.
Very good, thank you. Heard that.
Sharon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed the channel part. The whole kindness theme, which seemed to be really spoken about quite a bit in the channeling part, is it's it sounds like an easy thing to do, and sometimes it is, but other times it isn't. So there's the challenge. To go through your day with that foremost, try to have that foremost in your mind and follow that lead. So, yeah, I thought it was really good. I liked everybody's comments. It's so nice to hear everybody has something different to add, and so
Oh,
it's a
yes.
wonderful thing.
Yes,
Yes.
I like that. I'm with you on that. Thank you, all of you, especially the new people.
Yes.
Because I don't know those thoughts. I've been doing messages for some of these for so long. I know them better than they know themselves. Did you share some thoughts, Beth?
Yes, at the beginning.
Okay. Ken, would you like to share some thoughts about your experience today?
Sure, amazing to you bringing it up. And it, just because you're getting messages from the other side doesn't mean that person isn't an enlightened person. In other words, if you're a jerk on planet Earth, and then when you leave the body, you go to spirit, you're still a jerk. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And I read a lot, that's my problem. Everything is up there, but I can't access it. But I remember like 30 years ago, when I started getting interested in it, 40, 50 years ago. There was some book about the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi who was, yes, the guru to the Beatles. They did him a vast disservice, but he said one thing in one of the books that I read that I've never forgotten. There is no gain in death. So that's going to mean something different to everybody who hears those words. But you should think about it. Because we all have that fear, most of us do, that fear of death, loss of control, of letting go, and going on the other side. So what did he mean by that? Just what I said, you don't just become enlightened. You're still going to have to work at it. Even on what they call the other side. So that's something you bring up a lot. And you mentioned kindness. Everybody mentions kindness a lot. If you use kindness, it is reflected back to you. So it's a gain for everybody. That's not real profound, but it's true. Here I go again. I'm starting to get wound up. It really, it's not always earth shaking, because truth is simple. You don't have to go looking for a real deep. It's always right there, right now.
That sounds real good.
I read a lot.
There, Reverend Philip is always talking about nature, right? Everything is learned from nature. And one of nature's, the word whimsy is coming up, but I don't think that's the right word. Wherever there is a poisonous plant, the healing plant is not far from it. So remember when I was talking about the eddy being caught in the rip current? You know, they're only this wide. They're only a body length wide, really. So safe water is just, it's not far from it. Thank you, I'm done getting wound up.
I can see that.
Ken started it.
Yeah, well,
It's contagious.
I'm gonna wrap this up. I want to thank all of you for your contributions, your thoughts. It's very appreciated. And this is how we learn from each other. So thank you for that.